On this Domain Sherpa discussion, Huge Domains loses a UDRP, fights back, and gets a big settlement. Find out how much. Chinese investors are snatched up 80% of two-number.coms. What's next? What's next for Amar Kuba after selling Aftermarket and Agreed Technologies? Toby Clements is still MIA, but his brother is bringing back the DDN. Are you willing to buy from or sell from the daily domain newsletter? Has Safeway given up on .brands? Does anyone care about the new TLDs launching this week? Questions from the audience. Frank T. Schilling registers 12,000 domain names. Heck, if Frank's buying them, shouldn't we? And much more. Stay tuned. I have 3 sponsor messages before we get into today's show. First, if you have a great domain name and nothing to show when people visit, you're missing out on potential advertising revenue, leads, and partnership opportunities. NicheWebsites.com can build you a site quickly with a price option to suit any need. But as their tagline says, they don't just build websites, they build businesses. NicheWebsites.com. Second, if you're buying or selling a domain name or portfolio and you want an estimate of its value, Estabot.com is the place to go. Just like you'd visit Zillow.com to get an estimate of a house value, Estabot.com provides key information about the most important statistics so you can make an informed decision based on data. Finally, whether you're buying, selling, brokering, or financing a domain name, you need an escrow company that's properly licensed, bonded, insured, and audited. That company is escrow.com, and they've been doing it since 1999. Escrow.com. It's about trust. Hey everyone, my name is Michael Cyger. I'm the publisher of DomainSherpa.com, and this is the Domain Sherpa Discussion. When news and events happen in the domain name industry and you want a more in-depth discussion on the topic, you turn into the Domain Sherpa Discussion. We're joined by 4 Domain Sherpas this week. From left to right, we have Adam Dicker, CEO of DNForum.com and NicheWebsites.com, the company that will help you build, rank, and update your business website. Michael Berkens, publisher of TheDomains.com, co-founder of the Right of the Doc Consultancy, founder of the domain marketplace Most Wanted Domains, and supposedly the leader of the DNForum.com NFL pool. We'll hear from Adam on that. Next up, Paige Howe, founder of the domain marketplace DomainOutlet.com and the service DomainTipSheet.com, where you can find great hand-selected domain names at reg fee pricing. And Rick Schwartz, the domain king and co-founder of the Traffic Domain Industry Conference, taking place just a couple of weeks from now in beautiful Miami Beach, Florida. You can still get a ticket, I think, at targetedtraffic.com, but don't wait. Gentlemen, welcome to this week's show.
Thank you, Michael.
Hello.
All right, Michael Berkens, you sent out an email saying that you're number 1 on the football pool. Is there truth to that? Because when I looked, the URL said 2013. I think you might have been number 1 last year, but this year, I don't know. Adam?
I'm looking at the results now.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking to see where Berkens is.
Well, he should be right at the top.
He's not. So he hasn't put it in at all. He's right at the bottom. He's been entering it into the 2013 pool, so he's at 0. He hasn't put in any picks this year yet.
Berkens.
Yeah, but that's the thought that counts.
So, I mean, really, he could be in first place. Those are the actual standings. I just posted in the link if you want to look. Scott Campanella's in first place, but we'll give Mike an honorable mention regardless.
All right. There you go, Mike.
I'm still putting in mine in the 2012 pool.
I don't think any better. I'm only in 14th place.
I totally picked 2012 right.
I'm tied with like 8 people for 14th, so I don't have a hope in hell either.
All right, so is it too late for people to get in on the pool, Adam?
Well, not for the weekly prizes. I mean, they can get in, and if they have the picks for that week, they'll win money, but probably they won't have a chance to compete in the year-end because they've missed 4 weeks already.
All right, where do they go to sign up if they want to be in on the weeklies?
I don't know. Google DN Forum 2014 NFL pool.
There you go, Michael Berkens. First up.
Always a year behind, Michael, in the pool, but always 2 years ahead in domain.
Well, at least he got a money.
Well, the problem is like I'm not getting all the games right even though, so it's kind of sad. So.
All right, here we go.
First up, hold on. He's winning the last year's pool that nobody's in, so congrats.
Yeah. Are you tired of hearing about companies failing to negotiate a purchase price of a domain name with the registrant and resorting to a UDRP to try and take it? It's called reverse domain name hijacking, when a company uses bad faith to have a domain name taken away from the rightful registrant. You can learn more at Rick Schwartz's website, hallofshame.com. This week, an investor who had a domain name taken away through a UDRP got satisfaction. As Andrew Allman at DomainNameWire.com reported, Huge Domains, a registrar and investment company, settled a court case which claimed that Austin Payne Associates, quote, knowingly provided the UDRP panel with materially false, incomplete, and misleading information in an effort to hijack AustinPayne.com domain name from Huge Domains, end quote. $25,000 was paid by Austin Payne Associates to Huge Domains. The domain name was not included in that settlement. The domain name AustinPayne.com now forwards to Austin Payne Associates' website, but it's not clear if it was sold later and for how much. Rick, a lot of lawyers may look at, and I'm sure still look at the UDRP and think, there's not much downside. There's a little bit of lawyer fees, and there's, $2,500 or so in filing fees. Will this judgment start to make lawyers think otherwise?
Absolutely, and I've been saying for years that if you really want to change things, the only way it's going to change is with court decisions, because then you have something to point to. And so we've been spinning our wheels for years. But between being shamed in public, in ink, in a format in which can never be rectified, and now getting monetary damages that'll probably increase depending on the domain name, I think absolutely things are changing, and look, we're seeing a lot of these decisions. Actually, what we're seeing is a lot of decisions where they're asking for reverse domain name hijacking at a much higher rate than ever before, and it's a little bit close to the line. They don't really like to do it, but there's been a fair amount of cases that are going that way, and they're not so shy to do it anymore. And I think even a one-member panel did it a few weeks ago with a reverse domain hijacking, which I think is the first time I've ever seen that. Because I always recommend you got to be, if you want to give your domain away in a silver platter, you get a one-member panel and you can just kiss that baby goodbye. But a court decision is really important, and this is $25,000 as a starting point, and the next one is going to be higher, and eventually they're going to see the liability that's at stake there, regardless of other things with their name, but the monetary damage, and of course, little by little, it's starting to, get normal where, common sense will prevail.
Yeah, Howard New, your co-founder on the Traffic Conference, was on a show talking about UDRPs and always recommends a 3-person panel as well. I've done another show with David Westlow on UDRPs. If any investor is out there and wants to learn more on the topic, the videos are available. Mike Berkens, when you're responding to inquiries coming in, if somebody threatens you, well, that's too high, I'm going to take you to UDRP from now on, are you going to reference, this settlement in responses back to try and dissuade them from doing that, because it's just a waste of your time and money?
Yeah, yes, for sure. We respond. We point to the Hall of Shame, and we point to the post that I think Rick has going on Rick's blog. On the reverse domain hijacking cases that have been decided, and I it depends. I try to get something on as close to one point based on the situation. Sometimes we've actually have given some domains back from time to time. Sometimes you've tripped over a domain that trademark that you didn't really realize, and they really did have it way before you did, and they really did use it, and it has a par page. And there's links on there that are going, right up the alley. And so, over, I don't know, the course of 15 years, we've probably maybe given back 10 domains. So if people have a real case, and if they have a winning case, they have a winning case. We're not just going to, fight to fight. But, if they don't have a case, then we just let them know. We let them know the record that we have, which basically is one UDRP loss, which was appealed, and handled in federal court out of 15 or 17 years doing this. So it's a pretty strong record. So I'd rather point to that, point to Rick's, point to some of the other stuff, and we actually don't, considering over the years, haven't had the tremendous number of UDRPs filed. So I think.
Well, I appreciate you sharing more information about giving some of them back. I'm sure investors are either polarized, or either they're typo squatting and they clearly know what they're doing, or they've made an honest mistake, like it sounds like you've done in the past as well.
There's just so much that's trademarked, so even if it's not a typo, sometimes it's just something that really was something and was registered and was right in the frame of reference. And if it wasn't parked, if it was developed, then I would probably be in a better position, honestly. But if you're parked and you go to the park page and there's links on it, all to either the complainant or to the competitors, I mean, sometimes you just got a loser. You gotta gotta recognize that. And there's a decision I wrote today, and to follow up, because it really is important, I think, for domainers to understand that they do build up a history, rightly or wrongly, with this UDRP thing. And this one of these cases I wrote about today, simplebank.com. I mean, the panel spent quite a bit of time, reciting other UDRPs that this domain holder had lost. So to the extent that you get a reputation or have a number of losses on your record, it will be used by other cases in the future and will hurt you. So.
Uh-oh. Mike locked up there for a second.
I'm fight a loser. I mean, fight, anything. Fight, don't recognize it's a loser. But if you have a winner, then go fight.
All right, we're getting a little bit of latency on your video, Mike, but I think we all understand the takeaway. Adam, did you have a final thought on UDRPs, or the next question's for you?
No, I had a final thought on. I've only ever had two that I've had to fight, and both of them I won, and they turned into two of my biggest sales. So I don't necessarily mind them if it's a company coming after them. The big shame is when they go after somebody that doesn't have the $5,000 to spare to fight, and it's a good domain name.
Right. Then
to me it's a real case of hijacking, because the person doesn't have arms to fight. So I mean, obviously they're both reverse hijacking, but to me it's tougher when it's not a huge domains and it's somebody that just doesn't have the money to fight, and they're going to lose maybe their only or their key asset because some idiots decide to go after it. So, but obviously neither case is good. But the two I've had, like Mr. Berkens said, it's better to have a good clean record. And when another tip is when that you're going to lose because you were stupid and did get some dumb trademark, it's better to just hand it over at that C&D than go to all the process and have a negative record.
Yeah, good point. Hey, next up, as noted at Larry Fisher's directnavigation.com, over 80% of two-number.coms from 01.com all the way up to 99.com are owned by someone in China. This struck me as unbelievable. Adam, this is one of those statistics that makes me think, if I only had a time machine and go back in time and register all these numeric domains, does this fact surprise you that Chinese registrants own 80+%?
I think one of the things to note is that they may be Chinese people using a Chinese address, but they're not necessarily in China. Like, I know a lot of people here that have Chinese addresses in Hong Kong because there's no taxes there. So there's a lot of them that are registered to Hong Kong or somewhere else, but they don't owe any taxes, so that's why they do it.
So they still have an address in China that they're using, but they live here.
Could be anything. Yeah, so don't assume. You can assume that they're owned by some Chinese people, but I wouldn't assume that they're all based out of China and they're just scavenging them all up.
Yeah, good point. So does the fact that somebody associated with China, maybe Chinese originating people, own these domain names, or they love numerics because...
I have a gentleman that I meet for coffee every morning. He happens to be Chinese, and he basically just told me that it's much easier for them to learn to type in a number that they already know than to type in words and letters. So that's why they do it. For them, it's much shorter. So they like them because of that. So it's not surprising that they have all the numeric domain names.
Yeah.
But good for them. I mean, Time Machine would be nice. Some of us still have some good numerics. I think I own numericdomains.com, so if they ever want to put up a site and sell them, they can buy that too.
So, Paige, if the Chinese, if 80% of the 2-number numerics are owned by Chinese investors and, Rick seems to own thousands of 3-number numerics domain names, what are the Chinese going to go after next, do you think? Or are they all done? Like, I got them all. I'm done.
Well, it's a good question because I think on the 2-number, it kind of reminds me of the stock market where if you have a company's stock for sale out there, like domain names, someone can come in and buy up all the outstanding stock, and 2 things happen. One is they raise the price as they buy it for everything they bought early, and 2 is they remove a lot of the stock for sale, so there's less for sale for someone who does want to come in late and own kind of a Dow Jones thing. And so you have this melt up, and I think that's what you can see in it. And especially if you're marking your existing assets to market, you look great as you can buy a new one for $1.5 million and raise the value of all your other ones by that amount. So it can really contribute to that feeling. Mm-hmm. I think you would want to also see some other non-Chinese buyers buying for scarcity to support the idea that they have value out there, so that it's not just a bunch of people, spinning around the money inside. But they are quite rare. As to where they'll go next, that's a good question. I'll think about that. I'll get back to you next week on that.
Adam, what do you think?
2 things. One, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that they're going to buy up the 3 numbers when they have them all. And the 4 numbers, and I know a lot of people, Chinese, that are buying up, and Canadians, Americans buying up 5 numeric characters because of their zip codes and stuff. But it's obvious based on the news, the next thing that they're going to want to control is Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mike, you haven't been up to the news, have you, Mr. Cyger?
No, I have. Yeah.
Okay, good. You didn't laugh. I don't know why.
Sorry, buddy. I'll laugh more appropriately for
you. Forget
it. Rick Schwartz, what are you going to do with your 3-number domain names? You going to sit on them for a while, or if I brought you an offer for the bulk of them at a lower rate, would you just sell them off?
Well, I've set a goal not this December, but next December 27th will be my 20-year anniversary, and I have 15 3-numeral domain names, 15 of them, like 399.com, 899.com, things like that. And I want to sell them all in one day and take in several $1 million. And that's going to be my present to myself for my 20-year anniversary. So I'm starting to, I think I'm going to go to traffic, and I may even hook up with a broker.
Whoa, you're going to give a broker the opportunity to represent 15 3-number .com domains and sell them in one fell swoop.
That's right. So I'm going to meet with some brokers at traffic, and I'm going to see which one I have maybe the most confidence in, if any, that aren't going to look for a quick sale, but realize we have a 1-year window and can do it right and extract the maximum value at this stage in the game.
Well, it's a good time to sell, and if you're a broker and you want to vie for Rick's portfolio, get your ticket for traffic if you haven't got it already. Rick.
And that's those are leftovers because they're all listed at 399.com with a buy it now Troy Rushton's new deal, which is pretty cool. So I kind of like that and giving that a little shot with just those 15 domain names, and all of those names are pointed to that one website. So all my nnn.com domains go to 399.com, and since I see the 4-numeral ones are going so strong all of a sudden, I'm going to add that to the mix as well.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see that. That could be a nice sales commission for somebody with strong Chinese connections there. I'm looking at you, George.
If it keeps going up, I think it could be north of $5 million because.
So, Rick, I got to ask you, you sell it for $5 million, you pocket $450,000, let's say, before taxes. What are you going to buy yourself?
$450,000? How much is the tax level there?
Off by a decimal. $4.5 million, assuming a 10% commission. What are you going to buy yourself?
I'm going to go to Disneyland.
All right, next up. About a week ago, it was announced that Igloo.com purchased the Aftermarket.com marketplace technology from Amar Kuba's company, Thought Convergence. Then a day later, Escrow.com announced that they had purchased the agreed.com escrow technology and will integrate it into their business processes. It seems to me like Thought Convergence is looking to get out of the service business in the domain name industry. What do you guys think? Rick, what do you think?
Well, look, you can only dance at so many weddings, and maybe he's going to consolidate a little bit, take it easy, take a few dollars off the table, and go have a good time in life, man. Life is short, baby. Better enjoy it.
All right. So what you're saying is when you sell your 3-number domains, you're going to enjoy life a little bit. Adam, over to you. What do you think?
I'm going to call Amar and I say, where should we go?
I want to be on that 3-way call.
Amar is a pretty smart guy, so chances are that these 2 products weren't making him a lot of money, and he's decided to consolidate down and concentrate on the things that would, which any good business person would do. Plus, if you've seen his Facebook account lately, it's with all those girls he's been posting, he's been dating, and those relationships, it's very costly, so that would explain a little bit more of the liquidation. But he's a smart guy, so he knows what he's doing.
Michael Berkens, any comments about Amar Kuba's dating life?
Yeah, I've actually seen his list. He has a fairly extensive list of requirements for the future Mrs. Amar, so good luck to him with that. It's quite extensive, detailed, so it's probably worth an interview in and of itself.
I think you're
it
right.
Definitely is.
Listen, and he make sure he wears the bathrobe during the interview too.
Mr. Cyger, he really does have a list of qualifications.
Well, I'm not connected to Amar, so I need to get connected so I can see this list.
One of them is a dowry of 15 3-letter domain names.
Get them now. Hey, but seriously, I think we all use escrow.com on our high-value escrow transactions. I personally use them. I know they've been great. They are a sponsor of Domain Sherpa as well, which I'm grateful for them because I can speak about companies that I personally use. Is this a good opportunity for escrow.com to upgrade their technology and maybe automate some of the processes that they were doing manually?
If they go about and do that, yes, but they've been stuck in, and I love Brandon, and they're a sponsor to Inform too, but I don't think they've upgraded their technology, their back end in 20 years.
Right.
So, but it is simple, so maybe there's something he said for simple.
I don't know. Yeah.
It works. Listen,
yeah, it works.
I'm happy with their system. It works. I get my money. The domain is secure. I can go to sleep at night. Listen, it could be 120 years old. If it works, it works. You don't have to improve what works.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you're saying maybe they just purchased...
It's an example of keeping some non-technology steps involved, where I'm sure the illusion that everyone had, wouldn't it be great if we could get this thing to run itself? But I think this is the one business where you want to have eyes on, especially high-dollar transactions, a smell test, a bunch of stuff that you could never train a computer to do. And the fact that they've, it's kind of like sometimes you have a machine and you picture that there's hamsters running around inside of it, but it looks like a machine. But I think their team has overcome that by being fast and responsive and taken those human steps, still included them, but been really fast and responsive. So they've done a good job of mixing the two, because I don't know if you'd want it to be completely automatic, because then you only find out after a mistake that a mistake was made.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And a lot of our transactions are, have some complexity to them. They have some unique situations.
I think the bottom line is their service is still good. We get our money on time, and many other people have tried new escrow services. They're much prettier, and we all still stick with escrow.com.
Yeah.
Progress is a great thing until it doesn't work so well.
All right. Next up, I received an email today from David Clements of Brannons.com. If you remember, Brannons.com was launched a couple years back as a brokerage service from David and his brother Toby Clements. Toby himself ran the DDN, or Daily Domain Newsletter, a list that I had purchased through in the past, but it slowly came out that there were investors who had sold domains through Toby's list and were paid late or not paid at all. I still have some emails in my inbox about that topic. I called and emailed Toby at the time, received no comment back when he decided to pull up roots and stop that service. So when I received today's email from David Clements, announcing that he was going to take over the Daily Domain Newsletter from Toby, and start sending it out again, I asked him, has Toby paid back all of his outstanding debt to investors who have sold domains with him? Are you going to be paying back any outstanding debt still owed by Toby through his list? And 3, how many people received the DDN email newsletter, since it was stated in his email that, quote, everyone knows that DDN database is one of the largest in the industry? I didn't get a comment back from David. So, I'm sure you guys got the email as well. Maybe you're on that newsletter.
If I did, it got buried. I mean, if I was him, I think I'd change the name or do something. But I mean, there's nobody. He's not going to have much credibility in the industry, from what I can tell. I mean, I wouldn't want that newsletter.
Well, I'd be a little nervous using them as the escrow company. I'd want it to go through a third-party escrow and then pay him out of the escrow when escrow.com is paid. I
think he said he was going to do that.
Oh, did he?
I mean, he had to. I mean, to come out there and say we're going to do it the same way as we did before.
I mean, the only thing that can be incurred from this is they spent all the money they got the last time, and they need some more.
Maybe. All right. Well, anybody that got that email, I would encourage you to use a third-party escrow service. Don't use the broker as the escrow. I wish David luck, and, I think a lot of people in the industry like Toby. I know I liked him personally, but he never kept any money from me, so...
Well, listen, this isn't about likability. This is business. Likability is bullshit in business, okay? If you get screwed in business, you don't do business again with the people, okay? That's how it is. Likability, that's what... people in this industry got to learn. If your friend screws you, you can't just turn around. Okay, it's okay. No, this is business.
All right, Rick, I'm going to give you that $20 back. I'll you at the show.
Thank you.
Sorry.
See, that's why I like Adam. Mike Berkens, do you agree with Rick? Business is business. If one brother screws you, it's time to walk away. Mike Berkens, you're muted still. Mike, you're muted. You're muted. I'm sure you had something.
Yeah, I don't think there's a cold and cut rule. I mean, I think yes, business is business. But shit happens, and something could go. One transaction can, go south or be delayed, or there could be a hang up. But I mean, certainly when there's a pattern of bad behavior, then yeah, that's no matter how nice the guy is, if he, that the stuff doesn't, has to roll in a business like that.
Hey guys, if there's a 3-number name on that letter tomorrow for $6,000, it's gonna get opened and the name's gonna get sold. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
But will it get delivered?
Right.
It'll get delivered, but will the seller get paid? All right. Next up, let's shift our focus to TLDs.
Cyger?
What?
What was the purpose of contacting you?
It was just an email announcing that the daily domain newsletter is going to start back up again, and
so it went to everybody.
Names. Say it again.
Yeah.
So it went to everybody.
It went to everybody on the list. I don't know how big the list was.
Yeah, it went to everybody.
A reader of DomainSherpa, audience member, had sent it to me as well, saying, "Hey, did you see this?" So I appreciate that. I appreciate when the audience sends me information about what's going on in the industry and notifies me, like a few people did when they didn't get paid by Toby in the past. All right, next up, let's shift our focus to TLDs. In particular, I want to talk about the .brands. Kevin Murphy at DomainInsight.com reported that the retail giant Safeway had removed itself from the new GTLD program entirely last week, withdrawing all 4 of its applications, including the .brands, .safeway, .vons, .justforyou, and their generic application for .grocery. Mike Berkens, this seems like a slap in the face to the new TLDs. In my opinion, big business is about the numbers. If an investment has no chance of payback, then the plug is pulled. Do you think that Safeway pulled the plug on their .brands because it made no sense to have them when they already have Safeway.com and Vons.com? Nope.
I don't know what the workings is. I think that there's a. Am I muted again?
No, you're good. I'm sorry. There was a small delay in the video to audio.
Okay. Yeah, this is my last week in North Carolina, so my internet should be much better starting next week's. So I know there's a pretty large transaction that took place a couple of months ago that could, have impacted the decision of Safeway to pull these applications. So I think Albertsons is buying Vons, which owns Safeway. It's like a $9.2 billion purchase. So, if, I don't know, but it's not sort of that interesting to me, so I don't really know the whole deal, but basically there's a purchase, there's a merger. I don't know if Safeway is the surviving brand, or if Albertsons is, or if Safeway is going bye-bye, or not, and I don't know, it may or may not. It seems like that's a very reasonable possibility as well as anything else.
Yeah. Well, I asked the question because it does seem like there are a lot of consultants, not your consulting company, Right at the Dot, who are going to large corporations saying, you got to get in now. If you don't get your own .dot brand, you may not get the opportunity for another, 4 to 10 years, and your competitors may be doing it, and you're not going to look like you're .dot digital enough, and, yada, yada. Is this Vons like wising up, do you think, and saying, is it the possibility? Clearly, we don't know what's going on with the transaction, but to me, it looks like, hey, they just wised up and it's not an option anymore. It's not worth it. Quick break from 3 sponsors of today's show. First, are you tired of being upsold and cross-sold when you buy or renew a domain? Then try the newest registrar being built from the ground up with a beautiful interface, competitive pricing, and 24/7 support. Uniregistry.com will surprise and delight you. The right domain can change your life. Uniregistry.com. Second, investing in Chinese domains is crazy hard without expert native language advice. Now, as a service to the Western domainer community, TLD Registry offers ChineseLandrush.com. Using ChineseLandrush.com will help you invest in Chinese domains with confidence and without knowing a word of Chinese. Finally, MediaOptions is a boutique domain brokerage firm that gets results. They've specialized in helping companies acquire and sell high-value domain names since 2005, with a client list ranging from funded startups to Fortune 500 corporations. Visit MediaOptions.com to learn more. To me, it looks like, hey, they just wised up and it's not an option anymore. It's not worth it.
I think since this is only one group, that Mike's comment about the company, being rolled up.
Sorry, Paige. We're getting some latency on Mike's video again.
So
go ahead.
Now, if they said that on December 1st, any company that wants to withdraw gets 150 grand back per application, and we saw 17 of them say, hey, we applied as a hedge. They're doing 10% of what they thought. We're not losing anything. Let's get our money back. Then I think we can make a comment about it leading to a trend.
Yeah.
But it could be just as likely that this is about the specific brand that may be going away, Safeway. We may not see Safeway stores anymore. They may be Albertsons or something else. So
yeah.
I think with just one, we really can't extrapolate to a trend. But if you saw more, then that's a trend I could clearly see happening, because 2 years later, I don't think we changed the entire internet in a way that brands would say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we were early on that and spent the money to do it. I think the guys who didn't have, 300,000 or 400,000 per application, to do something else with.
All right, fair enough with your comments, Paige and Mike. Next up, launched this week are 3 new TLDs, .bayern, .deals, and .ovh. The new top-level domain .bayern, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, those of you that speak German can correct me in the comments, is the German word for Bavaria. It launched yesterday with more than 19,000 domains registered on day one. .deals is self-explanatory. It launched today, Wednesday, the day we're taping. OVH.com is the number 3 worldwide hosting provider, according to themselves. In 2009, OVH's CEO made an April Fool's joke announcing the creation of the OVH extension. According to their website, in just hours, the company received more than 22,000 emails saying, hey, I want one of those domain names. So they applied for the OVH TLD, and that launches Thursday, the day this video comes out. Let's start with .deals. Mike Berkens, if airline.deals, beer.deals, and Xmas.deals, short for Christmas.deals, are the best pre-registered domain names, is this a TLD that investors should pay attention to or skip? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't agree with the premise, so I don't agree that those three were the best pre-registered ones.
What are the best ones? What do you remember being the best one?
Remember, that's a good one. I'll tell you in a second if I go through the list real quick.
All right, your connection is slowing down right now, Mike.
Domains that are in that reserved.
Yeah.
Deals. So those are great names, but you can't get them.
Which ones? I'm sorry.
I don't.
Can you repeat the domains again, Mike?
Well, the ones that are reserved. Daily deals.
Daily deals.
Great. I think great deals, and best deals and hot deals, and I think those are all, really good names, but you can't get them. So now going through the list of stuff that did get registered, I don't know. I'd have to go through it. I don't think those are the three best, to be honest, but I think there's a lot of, vertical competition in that particular sector for GTLDs. So there's coupon, and there's sale, and there's shop and shopping, and I don't know. There's a lot of vertical competition.
Yeah.
So I didn't register too much, to be honest. I don't think, maybe I had five-ish of those, and so I wasn't, between what was reserved and what was premium priced, I think I have 5.
All right. Paige Howe, did you get any reserved in any of these top-level domains this week?
I thought I was going to do a lot in deals, and I ranked it as one of the best ones. And then I just couldn't. The ones I wanted were premium. I made a list of 7 or 8. Then said, am I going to really notice my life without these? No. And I still say, if Donuts doesn't care enough about them to promote them, and they're taking this whole idea of, well, there was no other applicants, so we'll just put these out there and make some free money until we get to the really, really big ones, then, why do I want to be partners with them in that space? And I'll probably end up buying some this weekend because I did like it. I mean, I ranked it an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. But it'll probably be 4 or 5.
Yeah. So you're not in any rush to buy any. It sounds like this week is sort of maybe a bye week. There's not much going on unless you want to buy some geo-local domains for Bavaria in German, or you're a partner or supplier of OVH.
Well, we've reached a real big point here, Mike, because we've had 3 to 5 a week since February from Donuts. This is all the ones that they had single applications, and I guess looking back on it, it looks to me more like them needing to, raise money from selling ones that they didn't think were that valuable. I think they're looking at all this as free money. That they're hugely profitable. They only paid so much for it, didn't have to pay extra. But now we're going to be where they are only releasing 2 or 3 a month. So we won't have the every Wednesday thing, hitting us all the time after next week. And then we'll have these independent players coming in where I think you might have a chance of more traditional TLD launch phases anticipation, because really it got exhausting to finally understand the donut system and then all of a sudden have a bunch of stuff, the premiums go up and up and up, not understand right side, not really understand radix, get totally surprised on London, I thought, with premiums and the number of premiums. Totally surprised on Vegas with the number of premiums and the high level of ongoing fee premiums. So now it's kind of like, what if new TLDs came out and no one really noticed for a while? So I'll probably still buy 2 or 3 and try to maintain some discipline, but it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like it. All right, we're going to get to some reader questions. We didn't get to them last time. I think we only had time for reader questions a couple weeks before that. First up, John had a question about new TLD registrants. He asked, if I register at 101 Domain and GoDaddy, do the Sherpas recommend consolidating them later to one registrar, and how can you do that when many registrars don't support all of the extensions, much like the CCTLDs? Adam, do you want to take this one?
Sure. I mean, All right, so I'm not really sure what the answer is because I have tried to merge them with different registrars, even though I get the correct or supposedly correct EPP codes, and I'm not able to move them around. So I don't know if anybody else on the panel has any other experience, but it was one of my questions as well. Whereas the only domain name I have left at a registrar is a new GTLD, and then at others I've got other ones. But I need to be able to merge them. I don't know what the answer is yet, and hopefully by the next show we're able to do some research and figure out what it is. Unless Mr. Berkens has some more insights, I don't know how to move them.
Mike, you got any secrets?
I'm moving new GTLD
Moving the new
domain.
GD, yeah, new Gs. Either he's thinking
I'll chime
intently,
in.
or his video.
Maybe
I think
I've
think
only
the
been
answer-
that far.
the answer that I get is, and they don't say this in this many words, is, man, we're just trying to figure out how to get these darn things out, much less market them, much less know how to list them in the aftermarket, much less know how to transfer them.
Mm-hmm.
There may even be some registries that launched without the ability to do renewals because they're like, well, listen, just get it to where we can register the names, and we got a whole year till we figure out how to do renewals. So to date, especially with GoDaddy, it's a manual process to do a lot of them. You know, where you have to get your rep, they have to open a support ticket, they treat it like it's the most esoteric CCTLD in the world,
Yeah.
and you don't really know if it's going to go. A lot of the registrars are just getting used to this RRP thing, which has some different rules than they used to. And so it's, I think they're really saying, let's just put it out there, wait for the mistakes to happen, and then we'll fix them, as opposed to knowing it works right now.
Yeah.
Paige, for our listeners, what is RRP?
The new protocol they're supposed to be under for the new TLDs.
Correct.
So you don't know?
Adam, what does the acronym stand for?
I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Really
Registry-
rough transfers.
I don't know. Mike Berkens, now that your video's caught back up, do you have any insights on transferring new GTLDs from one registrar to another, or are you keeping all yours at the registrars right now that you've registered them?
Well, I'm limiting the number of registrars I'm using for one. I mean, I haven't seen the reason to go to 10 different registrars. I only use 4, so that's, easier. I mean, the biggest problem I've ever had in transferring domains is getting them transferred when they're caught by a drop catcher. Pool.com or through snap names, and not every registrar that they use, some of them are more of a tag than a real registrar.
Yeah.
They don't even have like a real operating site. So, I'll remember for, the last time I used Pool.com, to order a back order on a .com was many years ago, and it was after I tried to transfer a name, and I wound up getting a hold of the guy who I got a hold of the registrar who registered the name on behalf of Pool, and it was like the guy's cell phone, and I was like, I need to get an auth code to transfer this name. He's like, I don't even know how to do that. Watch your sled drop and then go pick it back up again and drop. I was like, no, that's not good, no. So that's the problem, because that is a much bigger problem.
Yeah.
I think.
Now they consolidate, just for the record, I think it's Names Beyond does all their comms, and domains at cost.ca does all their CAs.
Yeah. All right. Jay had a question about when the plural domain names for products are registered. His example is boats.com. Let me come over to you on this one, Rick. So if boats.com is registered, how much, or if boats.com was sold, how much would you sell boatsforsale.com? Any advice on that? If it were bikes and bikes for
You went to
sale,
the right guy.
There's no correlation between the two. Come on. I mean, look, there's like one little thread, and one has nothing to do with the other, for God's sakes. I mean,
well, they are related. There is
I thought
boats.
you were
Boats
the
for
same.
sale.
Ask me, what would boat.com be worth? Okay, that's a legitimate, question.
All right. Does anybody think that there is some correlation between boats.com and boatsforsale.com?
No.
All right.
If it was red boats with a green sticker.com, maybe.
There's your answer, Jay. We're moving along because we have a few more.
How about sex.com versus
Sexforsale.com.
I think I own sexforsale.com.
Of course you do. How about
I
Dicks and
put
Dicks
that baby up right
Sale.com?
now.
What about sexforsaleinaboat.com?
Well, that should be really should be sexforrent.com, though, really.
It should be.
That more proper.
Sexfordisease.com.
So, my wife and I were chatting last night, and she's like, "Hey, do you know that
What
there's
does
a
this have to do with
website?"
sex?
Oh, wait,
For rent.
what is this? Speaking of sex for sale
Speaking
on a
of
boat,
sex for
my
sale.
wife and I were chatting
My
last
wife said, "Hey, I need the rent check." My wife said, "Do you know that there's a website for cuddling? Like you can hire a cuddler?" I'm like, "There is not."
Why is she researching that, Michael?
Listen,
I
first of
swear,
all,
I spoon her often.
I do own sexforsale.com. Number one, I do own that domain name. Number two, I have a contract on my desk now for lickmyballs.com by a movie producer in Hollywood that wants to use it in their movie. And they want to relinquish the rights so they don't get in trouble, so they can use it. They gave me the script to the movie, and there it is.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Lickmyballs.com.
I should go register lickmyballsforsale.com.
Well, is there a correlation there between value?
All right. Hey,
Boy, they're
Dave,
really going to like this video.
there's your answer. All
Boom!
right. Next up, Schwartz.
No, I got one more thing. So
Is it about
there was a
lickmyballs.com?
wanted thread- There was a wanted thread at another domain forum that isn't as good as DN forum saying we want to buy names that ended for sale. And funnily enough, tomorrow's domain tip sheet is actually going to have our best 50
Of course it will.
something for sale. So it's
But bam,
I think-
Jay, get over to domaintipsheet.com, sign up for that newsletter. You get
He
the
wants to
latest
sell,
newsletter and you
not
get a
buy.
link.
He wants to sell, not buy.
All right. Shua Mesquita asked, how much is a domain name that matches an NTLD worth? For example, the .deals extension just got launched. With the opening of that extension, how much is deals.com worth? Deals.net worth? Deals.org worth? Or does it not make any difference? Rick, back to you.
A lot. And depending on the success of the GTLD, it could be a lot more. I mean, look, if you have .horse and you own horse.com, it ain't gonna help. The horse.com was worth more than the GTLD before, and it'll be worth more after.
But you're
okay?
saying that owning any .com is going to go up when they launch an extension on it.
No, I think what he's saying is
Absolutely.
owning any horse is better than owning the whole GTLD.
Exactly. So
And the horses are expensive.
Absolutely, it has to go up. So I think they're coming out with a .property, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yep.
property.com has to go up in value. If you own deal or deals.com and deal comes, I mean, it depends on the success
Yeah.
of the GTLD. So if one of those is a big winner, I mean, imagine if you own com.com or whatever, that would be, I guess, the equivalent or something like that. I mean, you basically own the whole. I don't know.
The whole,
That's
yeah.
not a good
So,
example.
do we all agree that owning the .coms will go up in value when an extension is launched that matches the top level domain, the first level domain, right?
Yes.
We all agree.
Unless it was already valued at so much. If it was already a $5 million name, then to go to $5.1 million because of the new TLD isn't much.
Well, that's
But
an asking price,
But
but
what Rick's
versus
saying
the
is
value.
that the new GTLD is dead. It's not going to help at all.
Yeah. So the question then is, what about the .net, .org, .de.us? Do those not matter at all? Or do those go up in value too?
They do matter. I think the .org, for example, will go up in value. If it's .deal and you have deal.org, you're not going to get hurt for sure. I mean, and if you have, .net is .net, but I don't think it hurts you. If you have any of the ones that .us, I don't think is going to hurt you at this point. I think people get out of stuff early. I still think .us has its day coming. I would not dismiss .us, and I think it has a lot better shot than most of the GTLDs that are coming out. Because again, when they sit in the boardroom and they say, well, we can go here or do this, stick with our .com, and say, well, we have a .us, we have a .web, we have a .me. There's alternatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I think you can only say domains are good or bad based upon the price they go for. So if the registry for .deals prices great deals at $25,000 a year, and because of supply, deals.org comes out for $15,000, all of a sudden you're going to have people comparing the two and saying, wow, that deals.org has come down from 150, where I never thought I could buy it, to 15. I'm going to take it, so I don't have to worry about the double dot or the this or the that or the other. So I think it's all about the price. And if the orgs and nets come down to a level that they approach what people are trying to get for the premium new TLDs, then I think they still have staying power and muscle memory, for lack of a better word, over 20 years use. That, yeah, I think single word nets and orgs, if the price comes down, could become attractive buys.
Mike Berkens, you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It's been said. It's been well said.
Okay. We're going to move along. Eric Jenkins wanted to ask how the Sherpas choose LLLL domains. So 4-letter domains, what's the best when buying... Rick.
It's called a word. It's called a word. LLLL. It's called a word.
So if there are 4 letters and they're an actual word, then they have value. But are any of you buying up with the recent uptick in 2-letter and 3-letter prices? Are any of you picking up 4 letters that don't necessarily mean anything on the drops? Rick's saying no. Adam is saying maybe?
Yes. Adam has had 3,500 of them for about 8 years. And I just got an offer on one yesterday. It doesn't make any sense to me until I Google it. QACE, and then it stands for something. As long as it stands for a corporation or stands for something that it could stand for, then it makes sense. But just to go grab random letters is pointless.
Well, but you grabbed 3,500 or however many you said.
That's because 8 years ago I was a lot stupider.
But 8 years later, you still own all of them. Why not let some of them drop?
No, I don't own all of them. I've been slowly letting them go.
All right. Makes sense. Does it make any sense to buy the .net and .orgs of those 4 letters?
No.
Two Sherpas are saying no.
You can't
Mike
even sell
Berkens
the
and
comp.
Page
What do you
won't
make you
commit.
think you're going to sell the orgs and the nets?
Yeah.
If it's a word, yes.
If it's a word, yes. You like the .nets and .orgs.
But go for the 4-letter .us, is according to Rick.
There you go, Eric Jenkins. All right,
Yeah,
next up.
Listen, they'd be better off going for a word.us than lqmn.com. I mean, if you're going to go for a different extension, you know, at least there has to be some kind of balance of why you would do that.
What do you think, Mike? Would you go for 4randomletters.com or would you go for a word.net?
And for the same price.
Same price.
I probably would go for a word. Depends on the word, of course. But I mean, I like something with .org. It's something that would go with a .org, and probably the .net. But I wouldn't be spending a lot of money acquiring these now. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the drops, it's probably going to cost you for a random 4letter.com in the hundreds of dollars. So I just don't know if that's the best place to spend hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And if you buy 10 of them, or you're at maybe a few thousand. And if you buy 100, you're at 30-some thousand. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lottery. It's strictly a lottery. We're putting random letters together, and they're going to put X amount of dollars out there. And if that lottery ticket comes in the next 5, 10, or 20 years, you win. The chances, it's a rough game like that. I mean, if you're going to do a lottery, which is what I still do, but they're with words or 2 words.
And there's no house that you can just show up with your ticket that's your domain name and said, I'd just like to cash in because I heard all 4 letters were worth something and I can get it. I think you still have to take the attitude that if it's worth something, it shouldn't be available. And if it's available, it's not worth something.
Let's go back to the original premise. If it's something a business could use, it's worthwhile. If it's not, forget about it.
Right, but but what I'm saying is don't just take the thing that all 4 letters are great. As soon as one's available, grab it. Still look at it. Identify the attributes of the name.
I'll take this time to
advantage.
I'll take this time to announce I have worm.com for sale. It's a 4-letter and it's a word.
And
So
according to Rick, lick my balls is too. All right, Michael Berkens reported on thedomains.com that investor Frank Schilling had registered 12,000 new GTLDs in addition to the 75,000 owned by North Sound Names, a company that he's invested in. This time, they're mostly in .Christmas, although in the past they've been in .Black Friday, .Tattoo, .Hip-Hop, .Audio, and .Others. According to NTLDstats.com, the largest registrant of new GTLD domain names is North Sound Names with 74,479, wrote Mike Berkens. And the fifth largest registrant is now Frank T. Schilling with 12,216 domain names. I'm not sure why Frank registered the domain names. Mike Berkens wrote this. I'm not sure why Frank registered the domain names personally, but between himself and North Sound Names, they are over 86,000 domains registered with Uniregistry and the new GTLDs. Mike Berkens, I don't know why either. It is, if you had to guess, why would Frank be registering so many domain names?
Well, I mean, I understand why he would. I mean, I don't know why he would do it personally versus another company, but
yeah.
So basically, when so for the registry standpoint, if a name is just reserved, then it doesn't resolve. So you obviously can't market it or advertise it or put a landing page on it,
right?
Or say the name is for sale. So the only way that could happen is if the name is registered. So now the question about registering a name for Frank, is that he has to pay ICANN a fee every time a name is registered, but he has to pay them $25,000 a year guaranteed anyway.
Yeah. So it might be part of his regular fees anyways, and he doesn't have to pay to put the domain name on the back end because he runs his own back end, as you wrote in the comments to Katie on your blog, thedomains.com. So it seems like, he's paying a fraction of a dollar, maybe 20, 30 cents to ICANN in fees, and he's getting a chance to market them for sale.
Right, and
oh, Mike, you're saying something very insightful. I know it, but your video froze.
He was probably saying that he gets to track the traffic, if there is any, to tell which names may be more valuable in the future.
Where if it's
couldn't he just do that with a wild card?
Can't.
Why wouldn't he do that with a wild card? Or maybe he already did.
I'm not sure.
You can't do wild cards.
Say it again, Paige.
I don't think you can do wild cards in the new Gs.
Yeah. So
well, if there's a way, Frank will find it, and it'll be a good thing.
Yeah. Well, next time Frank comes on one of the shows, we'll ask him that question. All right. We're going to wrap up today's show with anything you want to promote. Adam Dicker, you are selling worm.com. What's your asking price on that?
I don't know. I'm not really selling it. If somebody wants it, just call me.
All right.
What I'd like to do is call you out, Mr. Cyger.
Don't do it.
Come to traffic, you bugger. Come. I'm like a ventriloquist. You're the ventriloquist. I'm the dummy. I can't even speak with it. I'm just going to get up there and freeze.
Now I feel
you get your ass to traffic.
I would not miss traffic for the world except for my kids, and and I feel badly. And I sent Rick and Howard an email, and I would love to be at traffic. Well,
I'll have to put you on Skype or something.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Mike Berkens, it looks like you're still frozen. Are you frozen, Mike, or just really still?
He's going to promote monitors and cameras that don't freeze.
All right, Mike is going to promote the fact that he's coming back from his vacation home next week, and we lost him.
Gone.
All right, what would Mike promote? His
right of the dot consultancy. His blog's excellent.
Most wanted domains.
Yeah.
.com. Go look for some domains.
.com. Excellent resources for the industry.
And the domains, of course.
We should do this where we each take turns promoting each other.
Oh, we should do that next week.
That'd be fun.
All right, Mike. Adam just did your promotion for you.
What?
We did the domains and most wanted domains, best blog on the web, and best marketplace to get your domains.
Can't argue with that.
All right, Paige Howe, anything you want to promote?
I'll go back to Domain Store. We'll put a whole new group of names out tomorrow. We'll go $29 to $99. So we'll go everything under $100, including 4-letter names, new TLDs, whatever else we can think of. And they'll be on there tomorrow. DomainSherpa specials.
Awesome.
Adam Dicker, I can't let you get away with this. You're selling the domain name worm.com. I don't think you want to sell it. I think you're just putting it out there as bait.
But bump. Rick Schwartz, anything you want to promote?
Yes. Last week I sent out 36 videos for Howard Lefkowitz of Vegas.com, and I'm sure those people really enjoyed his seminar. Let's see, Friday, prices for tickets to traffic go up at 6 p.m. So if you're coming to traffic, now's the time to book. Hotel room prices go up. Everything goes up on Friday night. So this is the time to make your decision, make some money, come to traffic.
And if you're a broker, get over there, lock down Rick in between sessions, and give him your pitch to sell his 15
I want the best broker in the industry, man. I want the best, strongest, hardest working broker in the whole industry that says, I can do this one.
Yep. Come with your ideas. Come with your game plan.
Monty Khan is already hawking me, just so you know. Monty, he was grabbing my arm yesterday, just so you know.
Get in there. All right, on promote Monday's Domain Sherpa interview. If you want to learn how one developer, a software developer, turned a $1,000 investment into a $100,000 revenue stream with domain names, tune in on Monday. Better yet, sign up for the Domain Sherpa email newsletter it's either the upper right or left-hand corner of the Domain Sherpa site, and I'll notify you when that interview goes live. Go post any questions you have in the comment section underneath the video on DomainSherpa.com. Don't post them on YouTube. Post them on DomainSherpa.com. I will be guaranteed to see them there. Adam Dicker, Mike Berkens, Paige Howe, and Rick Schwartz, thanks for coming on the Domain Sherpa discussion, sharing your insights and expertise. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for drinking from your Domain Sherpa mugs and helping others reach their peak. We'll see you all next time.
Thank you.
Oh.